Western Washington continues to have some of the best weather in the country, including today. We'll have that blue sky overhead and temperatures that peak near 80 for Seattle and low 80s in Shelton, Olympia, and Centralia. Our coastal areas, shoreline communities stay in the 70s, same at Snoqualmie Pass. We'll see a warm up, though, on Wednesday. That's going to be the warmest day of the week. 86 in Seattle, some areas of South Sound near 90. Temperatures take a gradual tumble later on this week with morning clouds, afternoon sun, and temperatures eventually into the 70s by Sunday.
Coming up, we're going to tell you the best time of day to work out. It is the Science of You series that we're running right now. We'll be right back.
Good Tuesday morning. It's now 7:23. I'm Steve McCarran looking live now at downtown Seattle. That's where later today, the full city council is set to vote on a far-reaching rezoning plan designed to protect industrial property and maintain blue-collar jobs. This rezoning legislation is focused on areas near the Duwamish Waterway, the city's Inner Bay neighborhood, and the Ship Canal. The largest new zone is called Maritime Manufacturing and Logistics. There is another one called Industry and Innovation. We will be asking today about a decision last month to stop a new 900-unit housing development in the city's Soto neighborhood that would have been in one of these zones. The narrative then was housing developments in that area could stop the flow of trucks trying to pick up cargo at the port. We put the entire plan for you now. It's on our website, komonews.com/hotlinks. We're back in just 2 minutes with a check of the roads, and that weather forecast looking pretty good as we give this live look at the Seattle skyline. Stay there.
Good morning, I'm Tyra Majors at 7:26 a.m. Here's a live look at southbound I-5 in Tukwila near Klickitat Drive. WashDOT crews just completing some emergency maintenance work on southbound I-5 headed towards South Center. That caused things to slow down a bit coming from downtown Seattle. It's also very busy headed north on most of our major highways. I-5 out of Federal Way, the Valley Freeway into Kent. Same thing with 405 from Renton to Bellevue, all experiencing heavy congestion. Southbound 405 seeing a $10 express lane price there in the toll lanes.
And this morning, the mountain is out, looking at good visibility over our horizons, including the view of Mount Rainier this morning. There it is. We do have a temperature currently of 59 degrees at the SeaTac Airport with a drying northeast breeze. Now, we've been in the 40s all morning in Shelton and Olympia, now warming into the low 50s. Well on our way to seeing highs in the low 80s there this afternoon. Even warmer on Wednesday, mid to upper 80s, cooling down gradually into the 70s by Sunday.
Good Tuesday morning. It's now 7:56. I'm Steve McCarran. In a little under 2 hours from now, a Seattle City Council committee could vote on a new plan to crack down on illegal street racing. It would create 6 zones specifically restricted to street racing on Alki Avenue, Harbor Avenue, West Marginal Way, Sandpoint Way, Northeast 65th Street, and inside Magnuson Park in North Seattle. Just last year, the state legislature changed the law that would allow local governments to designate a racing zone for automated camera enforcement. If they are approved, SDOT would be the one to install those cameras, and Seattle police would manage them. Should drivers in Washington state pay per mile to drive on area roads instead of our steep gas tax? That's what the State Transportation Committee will talk about later today. Commissioners are set to hear the results of a recently completed road usage charge simulation. About 1,000 drivers in our state took part in that simulation. One takeaway from it, more than 80% prefer to self-report their miles rather than have a device attached to their cars. Speaking of cars and the roads, here's Tyra.
Oh my goodness, to be stuck in a car right now along I-405. This is really bad. 6 miles of slow and go from Renton to Bellevue. No crashes. This is just the usual Tuesday morning commute. Take a look at the highways here over Lake Washington. I-90 headed westbound from Mercer Island into Seattle's busy. So is 520 into Seattle. That's because Montlake Boulevard is closed. 99 and I-5 out of South Seattle into downtown, extremely tough. Snohomish County busy along southbound I-5 and 405, and northbound I-5 from Federal Way. That's probably the toughest area. There's a 7-mile backup.
Well, at least our weather is cooperating for a quiet commute. Aside from maybe some sun glare, we have beautiful blue sky and calm conditions in place for another day. We look live at Hansville. The American flag is flapping in a dry northerly breeze, and the Doppler radar scan shows dry conditions statewide. I'm glad we had a few beneficial showers yesterday and a few lucky spots here locally, because after yesterday, the Doppler goes quiet. We were near 80 degrees in parts of Puget Sound, near 90 for Yakima today. Less fire danger with calmer winds there for the Columbia Basin.
Weekend, or this midweek. Let's get a check now a little closer to home.
Western Washington continues to have some of the best weather in the country, including today. We'll have that blue sky overhead and temperatures that peak near 80 for Seattle and low 80s in Shelton, Olympia, and Centralia. Our coastal areas, shoreline communities stay in the 70s, same at Snoqualmie Pass. We'll see a warm up, though, on Wednesday. That's going to be the warmest day of the week. 86 in Seattle, some areas of South Sound near 90. Temperatures take a gradual tumble later on this week with morning clouds, afternoon sun, and temperatures eventually into the 70s by Sunday.
It is time now for our big summer Deals and Steals event with Tori Johnson.
Good morning. It is 8:27. I'm Holly Menino. To South Seattle now, where we're just learning a controversial homeless camp made famous by the swimming pool that popped up there in the past few weeks is now set to be cleared. This encampment sits on state property along Myers Way in the Highland Park neighborhood, right across from a senior living facility. It is the same camp where there's already been a homicide, reports of people firing off guns and dealing drugs. Now we're seeing WashDOT's notice that crews will be blocking off vehicle access tomorrow. That notice also tells anyone living there to move out now. Tyra, our morning drive is busy.
And yeah, we just had a problem with our DOT cameras. Here's a live look at I-405 in Renton. You can see that bumper-to-bumper traffic there near South 10th Street. It looks like we have a stalled semi-truck there blocking the middle of the highway. 18 as well. This is headed eastbound near Both our floating bridges over Lake Washington are congested with backup northbound I-5 into downtown Seattle. 7 miles of slow and go, and up north you'll see 7.
Okay, we have another day of beautiful. We will look at highs by this afternoon to range from the tipping past that 80-degree mark in parts of Puget Sound, but warming up even more so tomorrow. Wednesday will end up being the warmest day of the week. Notice Shelton, Olympia, Centralia getting to 89 degrees. Temperature gradually takes a tumble heading into the weekend before you know it, in the 70s by Sunday.
Let's get a check now, a little closer to home.
Warming up on Wednesday. Actually, the warmest day of the week will be tomorrow. Looking at the forecast high temperatures, how about Shelton and Olympia flirting with near 90 degrees, upper 80s for Puget Sound. Even the coastal areas warming into the 70s tomorrow afternoon.
You know what? We're headed to the
Good morning. It is 8:56. I'm Holly Menino. In just the past few minutes, we got an update from the Snohomish County Sheriff about a deputy involved in this crash last night. It happened at the intersection of 8th Avenue West and 128th Street, about 5 minutes southeast of Payne Field. We're told that deputy was driving through an intersection with lights and sirens when the deputy collided with a civilian car going through. Everyone was taken to the hospital for evaluation, but no one is seriously hurt. That deputy was helping Everett police as they tracked a stolen vehicle. Looking live now at downtown Seattle this morning, where later today the full city council set to vote on a far-reaching rezoning plan designed to protect industrial property and blue-collar jobs. This rezoning legislation is focused on areas near the Duwamish Waterway, the Interbay neighborhood, and the Ship Canal. The largest new zone is called Maritime Manufacturing and Logistics. We're going to be asking today about a decision last month to stop a new 900-unit housing development in Soto that would have been in one of these zones. The narrative then was housing developments in that area could stop the flow of trucks trying to pick up cargo at the port. All right, let's take a look at your Tuesday morning drive right now. We have this situation happening on I-405 South 10th Street. The center lane blocked due to a stalled vehicle right now. So you're going to, if this is on your morning drive, you're going to have to make your way around that area. It's causing a little bit of backup in that area. A quick look at the maps to bring you right now. We are seeing congestion really up and down I-405 and north to south on I-5 coming out of the North Sound this morning and going into Seattle. If you're heading up to Seattle, it just gets a little bit congested on I-5 North.
And no one may have won the Powerball yet, but at least Puget Sound has hit the weather jackpot today. Looking at the sunrise over the Emerald City this morning, it was a beautiful one, wasn't it? Now, our highs today will be near 80 degrees in Seattle, low 80s in Shelton and Olympia, warming up close to 90 in South Sound tomorrow. The warmest day of the week will be Wednesday, gradually cooling back down into the 70s by Sunday.